Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's talk about AI. It is completely transforming finance and accounting, offering efficiencies we could only dream of just a few years ago. But, and this is a big but, with all that power comes a whole new universe of risk. So today, we're going to break down the biggest security challenges AI brings to the table, and more importantly, how you can build a solid defense. Okay, before we dive in, just a quick heads up. What you're about to see is an overview of the security impact of AI on a typical finance and accounting department. It's brought to you by Virtualization Options LLC, and it's really meant to be a starting point for a bigger training conversation. Since no two departments are ever the same, this is more of a foundation, not a one-size-fits-all magic bullet. So, here we are at finance's new frontier. On one hand, AI is handing us these incredible tools for efficiency. On the other, it's also creating some brand new, fast-evolving threats. The real challenge for all of us is pretty clear, right? How do we take full advantage of what AI can do, while also defending ourselves from attackers who are using that very same technology against us? And believe me, the stakes could not be higher. If your AI security fails, we're not just talking about a simple data breach anymore. We're talking about real, direct financial losses from sophisticated fraud. We're talking about huge penalties from regulators, and maybe worst of all, we're talking about the kind of reputational damage that can take years, if not decades, to repair. This brings us to a really crucial point. The old security playbook, you can pretty much toss it out the window. Our traditional security frameworks, the firewalls, the old rules, they just weren't designed to deal with the kinds of vulnerabilities that AI brings right into the heart of our financial workflows. Yeah, just look at the difference here. Traditional security was all about building a bigger wall around the castle, right? Perimeter defense, rule-based controls for predictable static threats. But AI security is a whole different ballgame. Now it's about protecting the data itself, the treasure inside the castle, no matter where it goes. It has to be context-aware and ready for threats that change and adapt in real time. And we're dealing with brand new types of threats that go right for the AI's brain. Things like data exfiltration, which is just a fancy way of saying stealing your data, or model manipulation, where bad actors literally trick the AI into making terrible decisions. And we can't forget about supply chain vulnerabilities, the risks that come from the third-party AI tools we all use. So what are these attackers after? Well, they're after the crown jewels of your department. AI systems are now touching everything, from every single transaction record to top-secret strategic information, sensitive personnel data, and all of your vital compliance records. Every single one of those is now a top-tier target. And all of this really boils down to one of the scariest parts of using AI: data privacy. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the sneaky, hidden ways these new tools can expose your company's most sensitive information. Okay, this is so important to get. An AI doesn't just store data like a folder on a hard drive. It learns from it, it absorbs it. And that means your confidential info can leak out in ways you've never had to think about before. It can get exposed just from the questions you ask it. The AI can literally memorize it and spit it back out to another user later. Or, of course, the vendor providing the AI service might be able to see it. This is the one question your team needs to ask every single time before they input anything into an AI. Seriously. Think about it. If the answer to that question is anything from bad to catastrophic, then that information has no business being anywhere near that AI. It's a simple gut check that can prevent an absolute disaster. All right, let's switch gears a little. We've talked about data leaks, but what about when the automation itself goes haywire? This is about the operational risks, about what happens when the very machines we trust to get the job done get tricked into doing the exact opposite. Just check out this scenario. It's called prompt injection fraud, and it is terrifyingly simple. An attacker sends an invoice that looks totally normal, but it has secret instructions hidden inside. Your AI system for accounts payable reads it, and instead of just pulling the numbers, it follows those hidden commands. It completely bypasses your human approval process and, boom, sends fraudulent payments to the attacker's account. And this all happens at machine speed. The money is gone before you've even had your morning coffee. And the cost of something like that? It's just staggering. The money you lose directly is often just the tip of the iceberg. Then you've got the costs to fix everything and deal with the legal mess, which can easily be double that. But the biggest cost, the one that really hurts, is the damage to your reputation. That's something money can't always fix. Then there's this other weird risk that's totally unique to AI: hallucinations. This is when an AI gives you an answer that sounds perfectly reasonable, totally confident, but It's completely made up, just fabricated out of thin air. Now, imagine your AI inventing revenue numbers for your quarterly report. In finance, a confident lie like that isn't just wrong, it's incredibly dangerous. Okay, I know that was a lot of scary stuff. But now for the good part. What can we actually do about all this? It's time to talk about building your AI shield. And this isn't about putting the brakes on innovation, not at all. It's about making sure we can innovate safely. So, here are the basics, the absolute must-dos. You need access controls designed specifically for AI, not your old generic ones. You absolutely must keep a human in the loop for key decisions. Don't let automation override common sense. You've got to monitor what your AIs are doing, audit them regularly, and this one's a big one, always have a way to do the job manually if the AI system goes down or gets compromised. And if there's one thing I want you to take away today, it's this. AI security is not a project with a start and an end date. You can't just check a box and say, we're secure. It is an ongoing discipline. It's a process of constant management, monitoring, and adapting. You can't just set it and forget it. So I'll just leave you with this final question to think about. The AI tools your team is using, they're learning and changing every single day. So the real question is, are your security policies and, more importantly, is your team's training keeping pace? Look, navigating AI security is definitely a journey, not a destination. As we said at the start, this has been a general overview from Virtualization Options LLC, designed to kickstart that critical training conversation. Because no two departments are alike, they work directly with organizations to build custom training that addresses your specific needs, your unique risk exposure, and your productivity goals.